My name is BeeScrap, and today it's all about glue and adhesive. The most questions I get is, why are you using two different kind of glues? This is a really good question. I think I have now something about 3 years of experience with scrapbooking, and I tried out many glues. Some glues are good for paper, some glues are good for chipboard, something like this. And I found two glues which I love to use in my albums, and these two. It's an all-purpose glue, a very cheap one, from a local store here in my hometown, and most of you will know this one, the art glitter glue. And there are many more glues out there. You have to find the perfect glue for you and for your work. I have from the beginning here a cheap one. It's kind of a tacky glue, does not work for me. I have here a cheap glue. It's something like this. This one is water-based and it does not work for me because it soaks to the paper. It makes the paper wavy and not flat, so this was a fail. Then I tried this one. It's for some kind of crafting okay, but not for me. So this was a fail. My Pateks I use, you see me doing this, and this I use sometimes. It's also a very cheap tacky glue, but these two are my favorites. Like I said, this one is an all-purpose glue, a very cheap one. It is solvent-based, so not water-based. It is solvent-based, sorry, solvent-based. It's very thin. It's a very thin fluid, and it spreads out very well under your paper. I use to spread out the glue under my paper this thing, and this one is actually from the bakery section. It's for cake and for cookies. It works perfectly to spread out the glue under your paper. This glue does not soak through your paper, so perfect. My paper will stay flat and looks always pretty. This does also not dry very quick, so that leaves me more time to move my paper on my bases. I use this for large areas, for frames that I made out of stripes, like just a second, let me see if I have one. I think there is one inside of here. On the first side, something like this. These strips I glued down with these glue, because you have to move your strips in the perfect position. So when you have something like this, you cut everything, then you put your glue on the paper, and you lay this very loose on your base, and later on you can move this a little, and then you can spread the glue out, and then this will set down. I hope I can explain this good for you. And I use this glue also to wrapping in my covers, especially for the big areas, for the outside. I use this one in a combination with my art glitter glue and some adhesive. So this is, like I said, solvent based, not water based, and very thin. The other one, the art glitter glue, is a water based glue. And I have here my working bottle. Like you see, it's not so, yeah, it's used. This is a water-based glue. It's a thicker fluid, does not spread out very well under the paper. It dries clear. This one dries also clear. This does also not soak through the paper, very good, but it dries very quick. And you have not really much time to do some correctings on your paper when you glue this not straight or something like this. When you put this on the paper and you burnish this down, then it's done. And this one is very expensive and not so easy to get my hands on. There are some online stores now here in Europe where you can order this. So this one I use especially on my hinges, on smaller areas, gluing down some pockets, gluing down in a combination with some other glues my bindings or my pages on my bindings. And I use this especially for the corners of my covers. So when I wrap my covers in, I have some double-sided tape inside, and I put some glue between the double-sided tape and the fold line, and I put also some glue here on directly on the corner, that my papers are very nice here on the edges. And what I also did, especially on the outside of my covers, for these large areas I use my all-purpose glue. On the corners I always have some double-sided tape around, and for the safety I put on my double-sided tape a thin layer of these art glitter glue, and then I glue this down. And here you have no liftings. This holds perfectly, and especially the cover is something that has more stress. You grip on it, you pull it out, you put it back, and something like this. And so you need a really, really good adhesive that your papers will hold here on your cover. So my Pateks I love to use Pateks for setting down my bindings on my cover, especially it's a Stack the Deck cover. The other covers you have left and right a little bit of a wing that sets on your cover, on your front and back, and there is some design paper over it, so this holds very good. But on a Stack the Deck it does not have this, so I love to use for these my Pateks with some double-sided tape, and I put always some weight on my binding, and then I let this 2 hours to dry, and then I can say, okay, it's now dry enough to go on with my work. What else? Of course, I have a hot glue gun, and I have my different kind of double-sided tape. The brand is not very necessary. You have to find your tape that is also working for you. I love to use here with these tape from Stick It. I have this in two different sizes. I have here a very cheap one, and I love to use red tape, especially when it goes here on some laces. I put some red tape under, and then I glue my laces on. I love to use this also here on when it's not a lace, it's a seam binding. This one I have glued down with some liquid glue, and you see this. You can see the glue under the paper, and it is nicer to have this put down with some red tape, because the color changes from the seam binding when there is glue under. And I have, for some reason, here these very good power tape, this blue tape, but I don't use this very often, so I have only a few of these, but the other one I have always enough in my stash, so I can move on and don't get stuck in a project because I run out of tape. What I also want to do is to show you the two different glues, but it's not really easy to catch this on camera. I make here some tryouts with these three different glues, the all-purpose, the tacky glue, and my art glitter glue. And it's not easy to catch this on camera. I have here three different qualities of paper: a really thin paper, then a medium weight, and the 160. This is the most of the cardstock I use, especially the solid cardstock. It's a 160 gram. I have tryouts with the all-purpose, the tacky glue, and the art glitter glue. It's really hard to see, but you can feel it. If you go over your paper, you can feel this. This is very smooth on all of my three qualities of paper with the all-purpose glue, because you can spread this out really flat and really thin. The tacky glue, this cheap one, it's medium fluid between my all-purpose and the art glitter, so it's a little thinner, but grabs also very quick, but you can spread this out also very nice. Not so good like this one, and you can feel a tiny bit of the glue strokes. I don't know how to the lines. I don't know how I can explain this better. But with the art glitter glue, you see, especially on the thinner paper, all your glue strokes. You can feel it. It's uneven. You can especially also here on under these thicker one, you can feel the lines from your glue, so you can't spread this out very smooth, very thin. And I have tried to do this more visible with a thinner paper and with another color, because on white you can't see this very good. And I will try to bring this more up to the camera, and I also will take some pictures, and maybe you can see this on pictures a little bit better. So let me see if we can make this visible. I'm not sure. There's no chance to show you this on camera, so I will take some pictures and you can see this. But what I can do to show you what I mean with spread out your glue or not possible to spread out your glue, I have here a clear sheet. This is a really dirty leftover, I see. Let me clean this a little bit more up. So like I said, I have here a clear sheet, and I have here some black cardstock, and I will glue the cardstock here on that clear sheet, and you can see from the back side what I mean. First of all, I will use here my all-purpose glue. So I put here some of the glue on the paper, then I will lay this down. And now you can see all the strokes, and when I go here with my little tool, you can see that I can spread out, I have to do this, sorry, from this side, that I can spread out here my glue very good, like this. You see this? It spreads out, it goes more flat. This is my all-purpose glue. Then I will show you this with the tacky glue. It looks like this. And now I will spread this out. It's not so easy on a clear sheet because it moves. And you see, this also spread out very, very nice. And the art glitter glue, and this is easier on a clear sheet than on paper, because here it needs more time to dry. If you do this on paper, you set this down and it's over. So I will put here some glue on. I set this down, and you see it looks like this. And then I will spread this out. And you can see this. It's not so flat. You see the strokes from your glue, and if you do this on paper, this is flatter. This is more, how can I say this? I could spread this out here on that clear sheet better than on paper. So if this is on paper, it's done. You have these lines smaller, you have these edges more pointier, and this is the reason why you see this glue. And I can feel this already here on my black paper. I can feel all the strokes here. It's good. I can't feel anything here. It's also very good, but you can feel your art glitter glue here on the paper. I hope I can make this a little bit more clear why I use different kind of glues. The brand of your glue is not so important. You have to find your glue. You have to find the glue that is the best for your works. These are my absolute favorites. This one for different areas or for different things in my projects. I hope this brings up a little more light in the darkness of the reason why I use different glues. And if you have any questions, then let me know. And if you want to have maybe some more explanations, especially for wrapping the cover in, or I don't know, the hinges, the binding, any kind of questions you have and you want something like this, please let me know, and we can make a short video to explain anything more for you, and so maybe it's easier for you to go on your crafting table and start working. So I will see you on my next video, and I will say bye bye.